Well, thank you. That was a wonderful introduction that kind of did a lot of the work for me in making introductions for our guest today, Anuradha Bhosale. Is that it right?
Yeah.
Bhosale, I still didn't hear it. I've practiced that so many times, and I have this one pronunciation in my head I can't let go of. I'm so sorry.
No, you do that.
Several weeks ago, I got a call from Ann Elgert over here, who is a local small business owner who called Better World, is the name of her shop, right?
Beautiful World.
Beautiful World. Got that one too. And you deal with fair trade products, right? And she was working to help bring Anuradha here as part of her kind of whirlwind tour through Canada and the U.S. She's visiting many different places, and so wanted to help bring her here to Denver also, and asked if we would like to sponsor her here for a talk for our social work program, which of course we wanted to do because the work that Anuradha does is so very much what social work is all about. In fact, she has both a BSW and an MSW from India, and got that in, what year was that?
90.
In 91, and has been doing pretty amazing work ever since then with women and children in India, and really making a huge difference. In the short time we visited before we got things started today, I heard just a piece of what she's been up to, and I'm so impressed. She lived the life of the women and children that she works with. She was a child laborer herself growing up. She was a woman who had children and who was abandoned by their father, and so had to figure things out. But through some luck, the people that she was, who she worked for as a child, were so impressed with the hard work that she did that they put her through school, and that's how she was able to get an education and to do the amazing work that she is doing now. I'm going to let her give you more of the details about what that is all about. I am filming this, but none of you will be on it. Just Anuradha will be. So, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning to everyone. First of all, I take a few words to thank Karen and Anne, who has organized this, because Anne has already visited India, where we are working twice, and she already knows what we are working with women and children. So she was so excited that I was going to come here for some meeting. She said, Anuradha, why don't you share what you do with our social workers here? And Karen put this together. I'm very thankful to you all. And it's really my pleasure, because I really don't get much to talk in front of social workers. You know, wherever I go, different groups, the businessmen, and I'm not able to put my theories or whatever I do in proper perspective. So I was excited to meet you, and I would like to share what I'm doing in India at the grassroots and how we are making difference with children and women. Of course, she has already introduced how I have come into being to start this work, but I don't know, I was just going through all your magazines. 6 magazines were there, and different programs you all put together. So I was also really excited, what you are doing differently here to serve the different types of people. So here today I'll just share what we are doing at the grassroots in India. Basically I would share, it will come in my presentation, but we just don't do the charity work, but it's more of right-based work, working with the government, with the system to improve different resources so that people become self-reliant and the system itself works. Because what we are doing today, system doesn't work, that's why we have to find out some alternative solution for time being. But we as an NGO, we do not want to do that all the time, but we want system to take care of that and go ahead with that. So here I would like to present specifically the women's work, also related to the children, why we have to work with both the groups. So these are some of the forgotten women of India, and their lives is miserable due to the process they have to go through, and from the family and from the community and from the government itself. You are there. Yeah. So here you will see I am talking about especially the girl child. When we talk about women, we have to see her life right from the beginning. So the infant mortality rate is high, and female infanticide, especially when the girl child is there in the womb, it's becoming a crucial problem. And when such girls are born, she's even named unwanted, and we are working with such families and with such girls to give them education. So see, their name is named as unwanted girls. And this is very serious issue we are dealing right now in our state. So what we do, we educate, empower so many different women, so how they can see the female infanticide problem and women's problem by themselves, and how they can become aware and motivate to fight for themselves on their rights, So we lead them to take some action, and our ultimate aim is to build strong families, along with the children, with the husband if they have. But the work we are doing with the children and with the women, our ultimate aim is to build a strong family and bring them together. And some of the issues we come across there when we work, that's health is a basic issue, very major issue. The girl child, because she is a girl, she is unwanted, she's fed well last in the family, and then her health problem starts, and that leads to the malnourishment. The malnourishment, you have seen 70% of infants die in first month due to malnourishment, and in the process the girl child is being affected so badly in that. Sometimes she just kept there to die, there is no hope for her survival. And inequality in terms of education, we see the ratio, the girl child is specifically, she is not sent to the school many of the time. We have to struggle with the families and also with the government. So the girl child needs to be focused to send her to the school. And because she doesn't get opportunity to go to school, it leads her to be a child labor right from the age of the 5. And she has to do different types of work from age of the 5 to support the family. She's been not given opportunity to go to school. And trafficking girls under the age of 14 is a major issue, especially to the metropolitan cities for the purpose of the prostitution. And we deal with this problem, we are working with the police and all for these. Child marriages in the community, the rural Indias, our government is saying we are preventing that, but we have hard time to prevent child marriages because no literacy, mother does not want to take care of the girl child when she is in puberty. She is busy with the work, so instead of sending her to the school, it's better to get rid of her by getting married. That's the alternative the mothers try to find out with the girls. And here you will see the hazardous working condition once she grows, she has to go through. This is just one of it, the occupation many women, especially the migrant women, they have to face. Now, each brick may be
5 pounds.
5 pounds. So she carries more than 20 to 25 on her head. So such a bad condition she has to go through. Then another condition we see is many women are abused. Because as we see, because she didn't get education, early marriages, when she's married early, at the early age, she cannot really handle the trauma in the family. She's been beaten by the family. And we run a counseling center for such women. We do the legal advocacy with these women. She has come to our center. Where other women bring her to our center, we counsel such women in our centers. And young women who are abandoned by their husband at the early age, their children's life becomes so bad, especially with the nomadic tribes. So we accept such children. We run an institution, children's home, for the children who are abandoned and also the child laborers. So these children were going to become child laborers. So our organization supported the children and gave them education. So we take care of mother and child. We provide services immediately, but we see within 6 months mother becomes self-reliant, 6 to 1 year, 2, 1.5 years. So we can return child back to the mother. So we work with government system how she can be made self-reliant. And at this age, you see the widow. Many times the son are not able to look after the mother, and she is also abandoned. We are working with such widows, mothers. They never got any education, and right from the age of 55, her life becomes miserable. So we formed the union, the organization of these widow women, and we worked with government for more than 2.5 years. They have different types of rights according to the Indian Constitution, and they are entitled for the pensions, but they were deprived. So our organization, what we do, we organize these women, take to the government, make them ask for their rights. So like we were working for 3.5 years. So now in my region, 53,000 women, after fighting with government, struggling, making them work, 53,000 women get pension at a time. So now they don't have to, like their life doesn't become miserable, and they have some money to be taken care of. And how much can you add?
This was over $715,000 US per month that was being embezzled by the government, is now going into the rural villages just for the 3 works that Anuradha worked with these women.
And some of the processes we use while doing this work is we go in the internal communities, in the rural areas. Our work is meant in rural areas. We listen to them, we do home visit, listen to them and organize them together, bring them together. We organize them under one banner of our organization. That is called People's Organization. And women has to come out of her shell. She has to learn to fight for her rights. That is our first agenda. She needs to come out of her shell. She needs to say, I want this, this is my right. And then we organize such women under one banner. And we inform and educate them at the larger scale. Now there are more than 7,000 women we are working with in my region, where all the different type of government welfare program reaches through this network to this woman. So we inform, educate, and we empower this woman. Empowerment is very important, because unless she realizes her strength, she cannot do anything. She needs to realize what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and why should I fight for my justice. So we unite her voice together, come together on the street and fight. This is the petition process we go through with the government. As I mentioned to you that our work is so much with system. He is the head of the government department. We make him realize that these are 10 things government was supposed to do but they didn't do. So we have discussion, we do a lot of suggestion to the government how they need to run and how they need to work. And if the government does good job, we do give them like bunch of flowers. Oh, yeah. And if they don't do, we go in action. We have peaceful demonstration. We come on the street as our constitution has given us the right to fight, in our democracy. So we can question, why didn't you do that? We have already asked you to do 5 times. Now, thus far, not further, you have to do that. So this is the process we do. And then we inform the world. We do a lot of media advocacy with the electronic media, with the printing media, to inform what these women have created differently in that region. And the reality what we face is, right, I again go back, when these women, their life, right from the childhood, she has to become a child laborer. And she is a domestic servant, where she doesn't get good atmosphere to work. She is not paid well. And brickyard, again, this is a very hazardous condition these women go through. And we observe this condition, we work with government. Women is also in crushing the stone. The women make the road in India. Women, the vehicles we see running on that, the women are main builder of those roads. She's also in transporting heavy loads for the construction purpose. This is a road construction where the nomadic tribes, they are involved. No education to the children, not a single generation has gone to the school. Their life is on the road. And there is really, they lack in everything. So we work with such families.
Baby.
And the baby, you see the baby in that slide, you can see the baby. So we have different programs for such children. We run integrated child development scheme for these children. We collect these children, we educate these women, we ask them why they need to unite themselves together. Even though they are in unorganized sector, they have to come together for the betterment of their children and for their life. And whatever work they do, they are not paid equally, no minimum wages, in any hazardous condition. So, what's the use of her being working so hard if she is not seen as a human being, She's not treated equally. So, but we come across women who are so creative, even though they didn't get education. They try to survive by any means, that out of clay they make some different types of bullock, and when they have festival they sell that. We try to work with them how they can do it more professionally and have a bigger market for that, so that their life improves in economic conditions. What is WCIC doing about all these issues? WCIC is Women and Child Right Campaign. This is a slide. I'm wearing sari there. That's me in the slide. And those are our police. So, as I explained, while working with the system, when we work with children, women, or with any problem, we have so much struggle with police. And I had been arrested so far in my 18 years of life for more than 28 times. Because we ask our rights, and police and government want to suppress our voices. So here this is all the time struggle with government, and in a week, more than 3 or 4 times we are in the police station in front of government offices, shutting down their offices. So this is the very interesting, we are making also women that they need to go and ask for that. But whatever we do is not violent. We have our democratic way of asking for our rights. And this is the work of WCRC with migrant children. Migration is a very, very big issue. Wherever there is more development, the development takes place in the cost of home. So the migration, the drought-prone area, people come to this specific area to work on the brickyards. This is brickyard labor camps, and we go and work with the women on their health aspect. We work, collect children and take schools in their doors. This is one of our Brickyard school where we are working, because migration makes the life terrible. It creates terrible life conditions for these families. So we concentrate, while concentrating on women and children, initially we start school on their Brickyard labor camps.
How many children?
This year we are working with 2,100 children. We take schools there, and then we have health checkups, we have family counseling, we have medical aids, we have family planning, counseling for the mothers, addictions, so many problems are there with the children there. So we are working with we work with the employer of the Brickyard, we work with the parents, we work with the children directly. And while working with the parents, our focus is made on women, because she has terrific life. Some women, they have deliveries, they deliver baby there, they die, because they don't have proper houses, nothing, they just stay on the street there.
Again, to give you the perspective of this, all this work that Anuradha is presenting to you, there's no government support, no government funding, no government interest. And all she's doing is getting the government to enforce the laws that are already on the books. And that's, again, it's important. And when we speak at different social work universities and colleges, I ask them, she's been arrested 28 times for enforcing the law. Not doing anything wrong. Think about that, as far as I know.
And this is very important thing, the peaceful protest. Now for me, like you all are social workers, I don't know which grade you are, but the women who never came out of their houses, they were not empowered, they didn't know their rights. It was so difficult process for us. We worked 3.5 years, just home visit, conducting their village meeting, bringing them together, taking their livelihood issues. And then these women are so ready now. Now today I am here, even if they have any issues, they work there. So we created leadership among these women. And they cannot read and write, but they can question. In person, they can go and ask government officers, they can work with police. So that's the type of awareness and empowerment we have created among these women. That's huge for us. Those who were shy, they were not coming out of their family, they were scared of their husband, what the society will say, but now they come on the street to fight for their justice. That's very important aspect on the right base. So this is, we were having, when we were having our protest to get their pension, land right, education right for the children, he is a police officer. He was in process to arrest all of the activists there. And we were confronting him, why you do that? And do whatever you want. And this is the police van, these are police, 750 women were arrested on one day. And this is our everyday things, you know. But more important here, people want to work for themselves. They no more want to be shy or be behind, but they want to come up and ask for the justice. And this is the place where we all were arrested, all the women. The next slide. And here the police officer, she's filing the cases. Now filing the cases, that means you have to go in the court. And these women are not scared. Normally educated, we have MSWs, when they come to I'll tell you, when they come to ask for the job to our institution, we have child rescue program. And when I explain them, they say, no, we don't want to do rescue, we don't want to get arrested. I don't want to sign because I don't want to go in the court. But these women, they want to stand for what is right and what is justice. You know, no matter what happens, tomorrow their husband will throw them out of the houses, but these women they stand for the justice. That is very important process. Like as we social workers work, that what people need and how they come out of their own problem. That's very important. We are no one to feed them or to do charity or to give them. And this is a theory all over the world. It's a universal. That's what I had learned in my college. You know, this is universal. So what we do differently to make these women self-reliant and sustainable is, these are some of the unhealthy conditions we see in rural areas. They have to cook on open fire, that affects their health. So we provide them solution by giving smokeless chula fire. So their eyes are not affected, health is not affected. And one of our leader, This leader never went in the school, but she is a leader for 7 villages. So she goes and educates all the women at the grassroots that don't use open fire to cook, but use the chula that will save your eyes. And we are asking health as a basic right. We are working with the system so hard, struggling with the government, because after struggling for like 7 years, the 1 lakh people were on the street to ask government of India to make education as a basic right in India. Because our constitution says, in 1950 our constitution came into being and it said in 10 years everyone should get free and compulsory education. But our government took 67 years to start education right. So we were 1 lakh people on the road for education right. We don't have health as a basic right, but some super specialty hospitals are given special facilities to help poor. But they are not doing it, it's on the paper. And these poor people do not know that. And these super specialty hospitals are owned by wealthy doctors. They are not charged water, electricity, no bills, nothing. The land is given free, but they are not giving their services. So our NGO, we are working to make this super specialty hospital work for these poor people. And if they don't do, we file cases against this doctor and see that they do their job and they provide best services for the poor. So we are working with the system on that. We do have a basic health program, health education at the grassroots, working with the adolescent girl, pregnant and lactating mothers on health aspect. So we do conduct different health checkup camps. We also work with a rat picking community, because this community is most vulnerable where we are working with. And this community, we are working on their health aspect, making them realize how they can form the union, registered union, to work with the government for their own economic upliftment. And formation of union will help this, because in some of the part of India, this already the experiment has done. The rat pickers, women come together, they form union. That union is been registered with the laws and legislation, and they can get their rights. They can get like organized sector has, one doctor, one professor has the same facilities they can get. So we are working at present with the rat pickers community. We were able to regularize 920 children last year from the rat pickers community. This is just some of the experiment this community do composing, how they can do the composing to earn more money. Then we do run a legal counseling center. Also, some of our activists go in the villages. If there is any atrocities, rapes, sexual harassment is done in terms of women. So we take police to the families. But women really do not, some women, they are scared to file the cases. So we encourage these women to file cases. And this is like, these are all the women so far. We made them leaders, and they are self-reliant to fight as a leaders in the community. And we create job for these women by making different handmade greetings, just not asking from the government, but supplementary income. This is recycled cloth. We teach them how to make recycled flowers and all for the decoration. And the greeting cards, you will see some of the greeting cards are made by women, which are made out of recycled things. Recycled bead again, these women put up different stall to sell all that, the different production what they make, so that they have supplementary income, what they do. Anyway, you can ask me some question if you have any clarification. What
in the brickyards, do the owners of the brickyards allow you to have a school there, or do you have to do that in secret?
Actually, when I began in 2002, the owner would not let us go inside, and we would write letter to them that this is our mission to educate these children. But we had to fight, and so I filed cases against 3 brickyard owners initially, because they would not let us go in. And once they were arrested, we got into go there, talk with the parents, with the children, start running school. So we had to do a lot of legal, what do you say, we have to take help of laws there. It was very difficult initially, but now everyone has learned a lesson that no, they cannot prevent us, and every child, and we do have, after that the process has smoothened so much. Every year when the families come, first we have meeting with employer, owner, then we have with government education officers, then third meeting we have with the parents, then fourth we start doing survey, we start listing name. So this is a process we follow there.
Two things also to add to that. It's a good question. When these first brick owners were arrested, she went to the jails where they were arrested, not to antagonize them, but to counsel them. So she counseled them while they were in jail, and several of these are some of our biggest donors now. And they will call on Anuradha when they see other people doing this. So she's not just arresting them, she goes in there and is changing, trying to do it again at the root cause, trying to find that aspect of it. And as far as with working with the government, with the brickyards, this happened, I've been there for 5 years. I actually am a volunteer. I've been volunteering in India for 5 years now. But this was in 2009, she'd been working with the government for so long. These schools were educating children aged 6 to 14. And this is their right to be able to go to school. So for 10 years of lobbying, they finally made it a law that all these children are allowed to go to school now because of the work she did. They made a law specifically for it. She changed the law. So now she's working with the children that are actually in the brickyards that are aged 3 to 6. So they don't have to accompany their mothers into the brickyards, what she's talking about as far as with the rag picking communities. We're setting up daycare centers as well. One more time. No government support, no government funding, or any of these aspects. She comes up with the what and the why, and we try to help her with the how as far as to get it working.
It's a perfect time for me to interrupt to introduce you to Scott over there. I'm very sorry that I didn't do that at the beginning, but Scott has been living in India and working with Anuradha for the past 5 years, and just giving up his time in assisting her with this work. He's also the photographer of all these photos, and accompanying her on her tour. So the photo that you had of the women towards the end, these are all the women who are employed by you, and is that all? Because this seems like an awful lot of work for that few people. Yes.
These are all became self-reliant. They don't need us now.
How
They
many
are the
women-
leader. They are the leader now.
Okay.
We create leadership that they don't need me now. You know.
How many women would you say that you've affected that are now self-reliant? Besides the 53,000 women who are widows, women that are now performing, making some of these cottage industries, how many women would you just estimate are now
27 women are totally so much. They have really, with all these programs, they have become leaders. They can. They don't need me to get anything. They don't need us. That is the sustainability aspect of our program. Am I getting you? Is that correct?
What I'm wondering is are there other women who are employed to do the organizing work with you, or is it all the women who you are working with to help them become self-reliant who are doing the organizing work with you? Do you know what I'm saying?
She has a staff. She has a staff
Yeah.
of two people that are helping her with it, that do the work to go out there. But there are more than 27. She's identified what we call 27 caterers. They go into the
Yeah,
villages,
the
27
major
different
leaders.
villages, and are organizing as far as the people and educating the women.
Ours is a team. We are 4 of us.
Okay.
I've got a coordinator, another 3 grassroots workers. They identify these potential leaders. We have training programs for these potential leaders, and they themselves identify the problem. We help them to analyze their own problem and how they can fight for their own community, how they can find the solution. And our role is become like consultancy and like facilitator, that when they go ahead. So we want them to go ahead. So it's very good. It's very important process what we do.
Another question?
Karen actually asked it for me, so we're good. It was the same question.
I was just wondering if your organization or a partnering organization offers anything in the way of reproductive health education and reproductive rights for these women.
dealing with, educating them on the female infanticide, or basically contraception and such with this, teaching them sex education, health education on that.
Yes, we are doing that. We when we work, it's not just the empowerment in terms of rights, but on health aspect. When we work at the grassroots in the villages, the family planning, we do talk with about family planning with this woman, and also with the. But we have difficulties. In rural areas we can talk, but nomadic women, where there are no houses to stay, the women openly tell us we don't have any other alternative. We cannot, because women do not have power on her body. At the grassroots, especially the nomadic, they say we cannot use contraceptives, because after that where to dispose all that, where to get, because these women, they are staying, these groups are staying far away from the cities or from areas. It's internal they stay, no access to medical, no access to all the services. So that becomes problem. But we do teach, and we are making government to reach there. Now our 6-month migration program where we are working, we ask government people to go and provide health facilities. So in that, the contraceptives and all that is covered in that. Even the vaccination, the pulse polio, all that, even the family. We ask government to do that. And earlier it was difficult with government, but they have learned now. They are doing it now.
Yeah, and just to follow up, I think what really struck me was that a mother would be forced, I'm sure this never happens naturally, to think, oh, I just want to get rid of my daughter. I mean, there's something psychologically deep about saying that. So it just feels like these women are trapped in so many ways. So I guess my other question would be, is there any way to reach the men, since they seem to be the oppressors?
Actually, the first question concern you had, that social, like even today, when in rural India, if the woman does not give birth to a boy, she has a lot of hardships in the home. And there is so much social pressure. So many times the husband remarries just to give birth to a boy. And many times if she has 2 girls, 3 girls, 5 girls, then he just gets rid of her. So when the conception is done after 6 weeks or 8 weeks mostly, they go for the test called
Sonography.
yeah, they go for the test sonography, and with that they doctors find out it has become business of the doctor. Many times they cannot even determine whether male or female sex, but they abort the child, and it is a social pressure, stigma. Women see as a stigma, so much social pressure. So with that, women do go into such practices. They are forced, because the in-laws, everything, the fear of getting rid by the family, so many things. And when she comes out, no one is there to accept her.
And is that part of the empowerment structure?
Yes. So we are helping. We have, the first license are unwanted. If such girls are born, they are named unwanted. So we work those families, we counsel this family, we collect these girls, we rename these girls, we put them in school. That's why our massive program is we are working in the schools for adolescent girl, because she's going to be tomorrow's mother. Pregnant woman and lactating mothers. 3 groups we are focusing right now, so that in future this problem should not arise. And we have laws in place. Those who do female infanticide, those doctors can be put in the jail. So we have our committees. The doctors who do that, we have rescue operations. We conduct raids there, and we arrest such doctors. We have sealed so many hospitals. We have different committees for that. But still the mentality, unless the mentality change, law cannot do anything. The mindset needs to be changed. There it comes up to,
So you said that you work with like 7,000 women and all of these different programs, and I'm just sitting over here absolutely completely amazed. So I want to know how do you split your time? How do you prioritize where you're going this week, or to what village you're going to be present at, or kind of how do you make those decisions?
Actually, mine, I'm running two organizations. One children's home, that's rescuing child laborers and providing them services, and working with the government system to abolish and eradicate the child labor practices. That's one part. So from morning 10 to 1, normally till 1:30 lunchtime, I work with the children's home. 1:30 after lunch, I go to my where women's group is working. But basically, my coordinator and whole team, they work at the grassroots and everywhere. Wherever earlier I used to do that, now I have trained them. My role really becomes where there are protests, where the police are not cooperating. So I need not go physically all the time. I pick up phone. I don't have to go to police station every day these days. We pick up phone and we make police work. We make government officer work. They better work when our phone goes. We don't, that's the way it should be. I need not be there physically present, but just one phone from this institution is enough for them now. So my role changes as we go further, and the team is active. My grassroots woman, if she's been harassed or she's been not listened by government officer, she just goes and locks him in his office. And she phones, I have locked him. And if the police doesn't take the FIR, the report properly, the women sit there and they go to the higher officers and they say, I want to file case against this officer because he didn't listen to me. So that is, and she knows, we have taught her what words needs to be there, what section needs to be there, how you can approach. If he doesn't listen, how you should behave, what should be your role. Because she need not come to me, but she needs to handle herself. So we are happy that from police station they phone, we did this, we did that, we question him that way, we did, So that's, initially for 2.5 years we work with the processes. Now we just work on the phone. Sometimes by themselves they work. Now I happen to be in Delhi, away from my region, and one school-going girl, she was being kidnapped by a man whom from her grandmother had taken 25,000 rupees loan, $400 loan, and grandmother could not pay him. So he had money, muscle power. So he just kidnapped that girl from the school. And mother came to us because police were not listening to her. So immediately our activist, she phoned to the police. She said, we want that girl to be back in the police station by 4 o'clock. If you don't do, you will see what will happen. And then police acted. So if you give them time-bounded period, and if you are from, we want you to do this. This is your job. Our job is to make them work. We don't want to run like them, They have resources, they have money, they have professional. So social worker job becomes to make them run and do their job. That's what we do there. So our one phone is more than enough.
Thank you.
So your name has some reputation now.
Yes. No, we have created that. We have to create our space. That what power we have, what we can do. Because what power we have is Indian Constitution and the laws and legislation, everything is in place. We are so powerful because we got everything. It's in place, we are just exercising that. And that gives us power, nothing else. Yes?
So since you began in 2002 until now...
Pardon?
Since you began in 2002, correct? Until now, have you seen a shift in the system within the government? With laws, and I know you mentioned one law has been changed.
Yes,
other than that.
actually, in terms of children's law, we had in 1986, we had Child Labor Act. And that was just, it is so, that act is so, outdated. And it has no meaning. So when that act just say the child is 14 and the act says only 77 types of hazardous occupation. And when we went for rescue operation, there were so many occupation. The child, when he doesn't go to school, everything becomes hazardous for him. So we worked with the judiciary, we worked with the government, we worked with the politicians. We, like-minded social workers came together. We drafted the policies. We took it to them. We did advocacy with them. And it took, I started from 2002. I started working on child labor aspect from 96. From 2003 onwards, we started working with the system. And in 2006, they made Juvenile Justice Act. So, which covers the larger perspective of the child, where the child is seen as age 18, treated as age 18, lot of reforms in the law itself, and it gives, creates different system for the children's organization. The children who are delinquents, for them different system, the children who need care and protection, different system for them. So I did more than 3.5 hours consultancy with judiciary, putting our experiences together, how this can be worked, how this will work, why we should need to add this. So many sections were added by us. So total law came in existence in 2006. Right to Education Act in prevention of child laborers. Right from 2001 we were working and we were protesting all over India. And it came into being in 2010. So it took 10 years. They made a law, but law has a lot of limitations. So we social workers did not accept that law. We burned off that. And we are working with the courts and with the filing writ applications, writ petition. You know what is writ petition? Writ petition is public litigation. Like what you created is not good for many children. So we don't want that. We want you to do this way. You have to listen to us. These are the ways. So we are working with the court system now, our Supreme Court, that considering the Indian Constitution, a different section, we are making government to rewrite that. It will take some time, but we have to work with the system because unless it is brought into system, we cannot work. The social worker do not have any power unless something is in place in the system, in the law. We can only exercise our power according to the law. So that has taken place. A lot of reforms in women's law. In terms of sexual harassment cases, we made government to form different committees. And people like us, the activists, we are in committee, we take decision. We made government to form committees at the working places. Because where there are more than 10 employees working together, there has to be sexual harassment committee in every college, institution. We made that happen. So it is so difficult, but it is possible. We are working in alliances and we are working in networks. So like-minded social workers from all over India, we come together, we coordinate, we put things together, we do media advocacy and we work with the government. We have to. But a good thing is happening that finally, after working so many years and a lot of struggle, government is taking our opinion into consideration. So before formation of any policy for this community, they do come to us. We have correct survey, we have correct analysis, we have system in place, and they do consult us now. So that's very important. When they don't do good, we have to make use of law. But when they need our help, we really help them properly to have a better schemes and better systems.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up, but I just want to clarify one thing. When you say the government, do you mean for all of India or for this area?
Yeah, we have state government, we have local government, we have state, and we have central.
Yeah.
We have
So
three.
at all levels.
Yeah. So we have to go right from local to state to central. Some of the act are central act, some of the act are state acts. So we have a lot of even issues in between central and state act, but we are able to figure out how we can work within those systems.
One more thing, just to interject one moment. One thing that we had discussed with Karen, and one of the reasons Anuradha is here is to educate you on something you might not have known about another country, but also wanted to introduce that we do have student internship programs. We do have volunteer programs. That's one of the reasons that we had come here, just to introduce that to your university and to kind of get your thoughts as far as on that. So we do have those opportunities available.
So we will be in communication with Anuradha about those opportunities, and we'll let you know what becomes of that.
There's obviously a way to totally, right?
Yes, we have some calling cards. If you want some information afterwards, we have some information over here.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for coming. Really, really appreciate what you're sharing, the wonderful, wonderful work that you're doing.